Tickle, tickle.
What's up, y'all? It's Orrin Webb, the EI guy, and I'm here with my beautiful wife, Jenna. And we're taking this day to share with you who the heck are we and why do we make these videos, these skits online about responding or reacting to difficulties in life. We're going to show you, we're going to tell you, we're going to walk through our whole background in a very brief video. A little bit about myself. I have a background in economics and philosophy. Philosophy is my one true love. And my philosophical background has actually led to me falling in love with this idea and this practice, really, of emotional intelligence. And my wife has experienced a lot of this EI vibe.
Yeah, so my background is more so in early childhood education. I was a kindergarten teacher for about 8 years. Now I've switched more into the private education. I work with a Montessori school currently. So My background is not so much emotional intelligence, but just being with Orrin for the past 8 years. We actually celebrated our 2-year wedding anniversary
2 years,
like 2 weeks ago or so.
A lifetime to go.
And over that time, I've really gotten to learn a lot from him and just life, especially because we have very different personalities and preferences.
We do have very different personalities. And I'll tell you, so that actually played a big role into my introduction to emotional intelligence. I moved from a point of very strong negative emotions, anger, frustration with this individual, all the way back to neutral, feeling calm and a sense of peace around this individual, all because I learned about how they thought, their personality. And this experience to me was groundbreaking, okay? Earth-shattering. And why is that? Because I figured there are so many people entering the workforce, entering jobs out of college, hell, people in relationships, marriages for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, new couples, that all probably experience this, but where do they go to learn how to apply emotional intelligence in a quick and easy way? And that's where I created Enmocean. That is the whole point of Enmocean. Enmocean is a membership and training experience. I like to think about it like a mental gym, right? It's a gym for your mind where you can come and exercise certain communication skills, learn how to interact with different personality types, and learn how to self-regulate. And that has a lot to do with shadow work and learning more about how your particular personality works with different experiences. So that is really the background of all of what we do. And what's crazy is it's already been, 7 years. If you actually go on my channel, you can see a video I made about what is Enmocean from 6 or 7 years ago. So
yeah, and I remember when Orrin was first creating the Enmocean model, and I think I went through the very first
first rendition
back in 2017. When it was just very bare bones. I think
Word
4
docs.
different sessions, and even that was really helpful. But it's so cool to see how it's grown over the years and where we are at today.
Yeah. The story really is a powerful one. And how did we start, getting on social media? Because I find my personality, I find it hard to really tap into the social media and just share more about my life and every little nook and cranny of my life. I know there's certain personalities that love it. They can do it all day. But it takes me a lot of energy to do that. So what was interesting is we turned to TikTok early in 2021, I believe, or 2022. And I was like, I want to be able to share short form content about emotional intelligence. But it was a struggle at first because EI is a concept that not a lot of people understand. In fact, mostly women are interested in it. Guys are kind of like, what is that? I don't even think it's real, right? But there are some men that actually understand it. But on social media, trying to convey emotional intelligence initially was a little bit of a challenge until my wife, who's an ISFJ, by the way, that's our personality type, ISFJ, and I'm an ENTJ. We're kind of different, a little bit different, but you actually helped a lot with making our skits even popular. You came up with the idea a little bit.
I think in the beginning we were struggling to figure out how do we take such a complex idea like emotional intelligence and create short form content that is entertaining and also educational. And I think one thing we realized was we could show people what does low emotional intelligence look like and what would high emotional intelligence look like. And that kind of is where the respond or react idea came from.
Exactly.
And so we make a lot of relatable situations, like you were saying, with dating, workplace, whatever it is, situations, that a lot of people can watch and either see themselves in or recognize people in their life and just kind of learn, how can I respond to that situation that I've been through or whatever.
Yeah. So, and we wanted to take a moment to even define, as you watch our videos, see our skits, I think it's important to just define exactly what emotional intelligence is, because I think there can be some varying definitions, but simply put, emotional intelligence is an ability for you to create the best emotional outcome in situations using 4 aspects of your mind: self-awareness, social awareness, your ability to self-regulate, right? Also known as self-control, and then managing relationships. This often flows into being like a leader, right? So how do you be a leader in your relationships? And how do you manage conflict or resolve conflict? So all of those things kind of wrap into what we call emotional intelligence. And I found that, when it comes to practicing emotional intelligence, it really starts with expanding your emotional lingo, like what language you use to even describe how you feel to one another.
For sure. And I just wanted to say too, as you were mentioning the 4 pillars of emotional intelligence, it made me think that sometimes people think that emotional intelligence is just a character trait.
Right. Empathy.
But
it's not just empathy.
It is a skill that you can grow and develop if you have the tools, and it takes time. I'm still learning. My parents came to visit this weekend, and I caught myself reacting in certain situations, and I thought later, oh man, I wish that I had responded a little bit better. So I'm certainly not perfect.
Yeah. I'm not perfect. I'm not. I mean, I would say I'm an advanced practitioner of it.
Yes.
That's because I just have dedicated my life and energy to it.
Very good at responding to situations. I would say 90% of the time he's able to do that. I'm tough. Still learning and practicing, but it's a lifelong journey.
It is. And the skits trying to show you that. The skits will show you different situations where emotional intelligence can be applied. And that's the whole point of the skits. And they were popular. I mean, several videos got north of 4 million views because people like to learn by watching other people, right? We're social animals, right? So we like to look at others and say, oh, that's what they're doing. Shoot, that's what we learned as kids, right? And so these skits really convey that. And now I want to kind of break down, like when we say respond or react, we have a particular definition of what we mean by that. To react, like everybody reacts to stuff, okay? But like when we say reacting, what we mean by that is instinctual communication. That means you're mindlessly reacting to a situation. You're not really giving it much thought. You're not taking a moment to pause. You're just rapid firing, your communication off, which then leads to oftentimes poor emotional outcomes. That's why it's low emotional intelligence, or we call it low EQ behavior.
Mm-hmm. And oftentimes we end the videos with react less. So reacting happens, and it will always happen to some extent. But if you can react less, it will make your life better off.
Right. So reacting less means you're likely to have greater emotional outcomes in situations, in relationships. Mm-hmm. Now we talk about responding. What does responding mean? So responding is intentional communication. You know you're going to respond when you pause before you communicate. The strategic pause is an essential part of self-regulating before you actually convey information to someone else. And that's why in the skits you see a freeze frame, and we actually put the shades on. Let me grab the shades here, actually. These glasses symbolize seeing the situation from the perspective of an emotionally intelligent person, okay?
Lauren got these customized.
Yeah, these are some custom Ray-Bans.
They say, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's really important because, we haven't even really dove into the universe of personality, because emotional intelligence is applied dynamically based on who you're interacting with, right? So my wife, who in my program, she's referred to as a giver persona, right? She's going to be a little bit more interested in, kind of family related things and kind of nostalgia and, might be a little bit more sensitive to disagreement or conflict. Whereas myself, I'm more into like abstract, right? Creative stuff and kind of thinking big picture and like being like very analytical. And sometimes that may clash, but when you got the shades on, you can see each other not as a barrier or an obstacle to you experiencing, joy or experiencing some positive emotion, but you see them for how they are, their personality, how they operate, and what is it that they need in the moment. So we hope that in this video, you've learned a thing or two about the background and the context of the videos we make. There's a lot more content to come. We hope that you subscribe, comment, like, what we're doing here at Enmocean and the EI Guide channel.
And let us know if you have any questions about emotional intelligence, personalities, or anything else we've talked about, because we would love to make other content to help you on your journey.